Greetings, greetings, greetings. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. Hope it is going well. I tell you, just 1 week ago, there was more sunshine. I actually have the living room light on because it is a little dark now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fall is really officially here. Cooler temps, shorter days. Oh, next, just 1 week from now, I bet you there's going to be so many leaves on the ground. You're going to be walking to your car, wherever you're going, and you're going to hear some crunching, or you're going to look around like, wait a minute, what? Oh, man, just that fast? Oh, yeah, just that fast. I promise you that's what's going to happen. But I don't know. Like I mentioned yesterday, I had a rough week. I don't know what was going on, what was in the air, what was in the water, what was in anything. It was just something else. But I survived, and I'm just going to rest this weekend. And it was more of a mental thing. It wasn't even a physical thing. But, sometimes if you have issues, um, mentally, you being challenged mentally and pull this way and all these different thoughts and little stress or whatever. Well, yeah, sometimes it does affect you physically. So I'm not going to say that, that is that's not true because it is. Now I will say I haven't had a headache because that's always a warning sign. Because I don't, have headaches. So when I have headaches or a headache, I know it's time to make a change, make a move, disconnect, whatever I need to do. But hopefully, you guys are doing well. Um, I know a lot of you guys got a chance to tune in yesterday for this show. Hope it was interesting to you. Just because a person have a different point of view, it's always good to listen and then ask questions, and then you give your examples or whatever, and move on. That's how we do it around here. There's no name calling and exposure and I'm gonna what is it? Take the air out your car. I'm gonna catch a flight and all that kind of stuff. No, that's too much. What else I want to mention to you before we get started? Um, I think that was it. Oh no, I might as well mention it now because I don't know. But there is a big possibility that my schedule will change in a few weeks where I will not have Saturday available. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't be able to do the show. Not live anyway. It's possible maybe we can record it and have it as a premiere same time slot. But no promises because it depends on how challenging my schedule will be. But I just want to put that out there, and it will be until the end of the year. That's I know it will be until January 1st. So um, yeah, so that's a possibility. I just wanted to put it out there. No surprise if you were here to hear it or the replay. You got the information. Spread the news. It's a possibility, but hopefully not. We'll see. But I have no control over that unless anyone knows of anyone age maybe 38 to about 56, maybe somewhere around there, that has a pension. JustAskChar at gmail.com. Send them on over. Okay. I'm putting it out there. Yeah, that's it. And then you ain't got to worry about it. I'll be here Saturday. Okay. Well, without further ado, you all know what to do. We have the beautiful and the lovely. You know who she is. We're talking about that Jamaican Canadian. Yeah, get ready, y'all. Get ready. Get ready. Where's she at? I see it.
Go down there, why not go down there? Go down there, why not go down there? Go down there, why not go down there?
Stay down there, girl. Stay down there.
Yes, y'all. I just wanted to share with you a little known fact is that that's actually me in the gift right there. You see that big hair and that waist wind up? Yes, that's totally me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. That was totally me. Totally me.
Yeah.
I'm living in my dreams, y'all. I'm living in my dreams. Okay, I'm gonna speak it into reality, right? Like The Secret, whatever. Or you just speak into reality. I look like 21-year-old her, whoever that
Yeah.
girl is, right? Like I don't even think I looked like her when I was 21, but I look like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's breaking news. In fact, that was the most important news of like the century. I think we can just end here. Oh, Char, listen, I am over here, sending out good vibes and energies and whatever, because I don't know, this whole concept that these companies have come out with that are not like malls, made for 12-year-olds, that adults should work on Saturdays and Sundays. Like just no. That's how I feel about it. Just no. No, it's very inconvenient. I understand from the other side as a customer, right? Like I need things to be available on Saturdays and Sundays. But as an employee, I object, right? like it's borderline abusive. We should not have to do this. Okay. Sorry. I think we should just have longer hours Monday to Friday, right? And so whatever shift you're working, you can take care of business before or after. But Saturdays and Sundays should be free. Okay? This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay.
Yeah. What can I say?
I know it's not your fault. I'm gonna write a strongly worded petition to your company. Strongly worded. Yes.
I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn from the Karens, right? I mean, this is an educational program. We show them a lot, right? I'm learning a thing or two. Strongly worded. Tell them about my feelings, and then tell them because they're my feelings, obviously they should listen. Because I feel that way. Yeah. Right? So it's going to be good. Yeah, I believe.
Well, I guess that's where I start off with talking about a little employment. But this is unemployment. I'll start with that one, then I'll move on to the actual employment one.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do here, because I don't know if I can. Hopefully, I can wind it back. I don't know. May have to refresh. Because sometimes they'll do it that way. Oh, it's possible. Yay.
Who was laid off during the...
Okay, there we go. Uh-oh, maybe. But I'll read the title. Illinois unemployment notices from IDES causes confusion, worrying those told they owe thousands. All right, come on, I-Team. Come on. No? Maybe? A little bit? Somewhat?
The problems tonight.
State and federal programs are supposed to help most people who received unemployment overpayments by granting them forgiveness. However, one lawmaker tells the I-Team that hundreds of people are calling his office saying they're either being denied forgiveness or they're not getting a clear answer. We've also heard from viewers who say they're being told to pay all of that money back.
I, like many people, was hit hard, and I can't have another hit like that.
Lavinia Redmond is a bus driver for CPS who was laid off during the pandemic.
It's incredibly frustrating. It's very stressful.
John Sweeney was laid off from an educational nonprofit. They both applied for unemployment and qualified, but months later, even after the benefits ended, Redmond and Sweeney each say they got letters to pay back all of their federal and state unemployment without much explanation. Sweeney is expected to pay back $19,000, and Redmond?
They want $20,799 back, every single cent.
Earlier this year, lawmakers decided that people who received these unemployment overpayment letters for being paid too much federal or state money can appeal or ask for a waiver. If granted, they could qualify for overpayment forgiveness. But the I-Team has received dozens of emails and calls from people who say they are trying to get that relief, but they can't get answers, or they're still getting bills that say they owe the money back.
A lot of representatives aren't able to assist me. I've been told a couple of times that a supervisor would give me a call back, and that's just never happened. There was no information about how to appeal or if there was a waiver program.
There was no way for me to actually fill out a waiver because there's no link there.
The Illinois Department of Employment Security, which is in charge of distributing federal and state funds and collecting all of the overpayments, tells the I-Team that the state waiver program has not yet been implemented. The agency says they don't have a time frame of when it will be.
They're insulting Illinoisans by saying pay us back money because of the error that we made. I think it's just morally wrong.
Illinois House Republican leader Jim Durkin says he's trying to get answers for people in his district and all over the state.
And about how many of your constituents are still in this situation where they think they may have to still pay back?
Hundreds. There are hundreds still. My office is still getting phone calls. I thought we were past this.
Durkin says some people are in limbo about their repayment status, and others, he says, are being told they were denied the forgiveness.
What do you do if you're in this situation?
Contact members of the legislature. That's the only way you're going to be able to get the squeaky wheel moving. I wish there was an easier way about it, but I encourage people to talk to members of the Illinois House, Illinois Senate, telling them of the ordeal that they're going through.
Fortunately, Redmond and Sweeney are back at their jobs, but neither can get answers about money they're told they owe, and they don't know what to do next.
I certainly don't have the money to repay that amount of money.
It's devastating to me. It's devastating to me and my family, and I just can't do it.
For those who are disputing a state unemployment payback, IDES tells the I-Team that they will be sending out letters to those people to request waivers as soon as the program is implemented. For more information about state and federal overpayment forgiveness, links on our website, abc7chicago.com.
The problems tonight.
What are they talking about? As soon as we implement it. I mean, this is supposed to be already active for people, and it's really interesting that the man, his was 10 and hers was double 20, all of it. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of reminds me of what we were trying to explain before, last night, about it doesn't matter how nice and moral you are. It just doesn't stop as far as when it comes to people of color. We just target it, and clearly this is very interesting. Now, it's unfortunate that we have this issue in Illinois. I've shown that we've had people that had claims that were actually sitting at or whatever at their jobs, and someone is filing unemployment in their name. Now you got people that were on it, needed it, used it, was due unemployment, and the portion of the forgiveness part that they shouldn't even have to deal with. That's just supposed to be automatic. It's not. It hasn't been implemented. It hasn't been done. It has not been completed, and that's awful. No one wants to deal with that.
It's ridiculous.
It's
Just
crazy.
ridiculous.
Gee.
Okay, wait. Is it my turn, or are you going to do your next article first?
You can go ahead.
Okay, because the thing is, right, is that it's just when you said, like, it just keeps coming and coming for Black people, it just really ties into my first story. So I want to do that because, again, and I think it's important to kind of, it's a nice little segue from yesterday as well. So let's talk about Black employment. There are people who are going to work right now, right? Some people, for example, like if you work for an internet type business, right? Those people never close down. The internet lives no matter what. Well, let's see how Black employees are doing at Google, right? I mean, I'm sure they're doing splendidly.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are no problems at all. Oh, wait, what does this title say? They didn't believe I was an employee. What? They didn't believe this black employee was an employee? Nah, I must be reading that wrong, right? It was just like a random Karen moment, right? Karen kind of interacted with Buddy, and then it was just easily resolved, right? You think
Wow.
you think that's what happened, guys? I don't know. Let's see. Let's just go down. Now we'll get to those updates in a second. Okay, so let's look at this employee's tweet before we get fully into things. Okay, and so the first one says, riding my bike around Google's campus and somebody called security on me because they didn't believe I was an employee. They had to get, sorry, had to get escorted by 2 security guards to verify my ID badge. Right?
Wow.
Wait, had to get escorted. So you would think, guys, he didn't forget his ID badge. He had his ID badge. They just didn't believe his ID badge was legit. So then he had to be escorted by 2 security guards to go have his ID badge verified. But now he says, a lot of people keep DMing me asking me for the full story. Well, they ended up taking my ID badge away from me later that day, and I was told to call security if I had a problem with it. So security took his ID badge and then said, well, if you have a problem with him taking your ID badge, just call security. You are security. Why would I call you? You've already done it, right? Like this is.
Oh my goodness.
This is happening to a Google employee. Okay. And so now let's take a look at what some of the responses are, because I think that the responses are very illuminating, right? So Manomark says, I'm so sorry. That's really screwed up. Google explicitly gives guidance not to call security on people you suspect aren't Googlers because of exactly these kinds of incidents. Wait a minute. They have a policy to not do this because they have been proven to do this in the past poorly. I want you guys to process that, right? Now, this next person said, right, whoever reported you needs to read their emails, and security should have felt empowered to tell them as much. Employees were told to not police access anymore, specifically because it fed off existing biases. It sucks seeing how far we still have to go to combat this. Okay, so just look at this before you even read the article. Just look at the tweets here. It is telling you, listen, they have had a culture of racism and unfair biasing and targeting against Black people at Google. So much so that they actually came up with a policy saying, hey, listen, we can't police access to the grounds anymore because it's unfairly targeting Black people. Mm-hmm. And so to remedy that, someone sees a Black guy and says, oh, I don't think he works here. Immediately calls security. Security doubles up on him. He shows his badge. They go, yeah, we don't believe that's real. They go to confirm that that's really his badge and he really works here. Then take his badge from him because they don't believe that he really works there.
That is crazy.
That is really what happened. Now, this is what is amazing. It's not like he was doing something like crazy, right? He's sitting there, he's riding his bike, okay, through the campus, right? The Google campus, they call it. It's kind of like they phrase it a lot like it's like a college, it's a campus or whatever, right? But you can see here, this person replied and said, especially when Google allows pretty much anyone to grab and go on their bikes in and around campus. No one ever questions if they're Google employees on their way to Shoreline Park. Wait a minute. So now white people, right? That's not being questioned, and people are using this as a thoroughfare, right?
Right.
But now this one person, right, decided, oh, well, there's a suspicious individual. What do you think made him suspicious, do you think?
Let's see. He was tall. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, he was tall.
He must have been extra tall. I mean, we saw the picture. He didn't look that tall, but he must have been extra tall. That was it. Maybe he had a mustache. Mustaches are very suspicious.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
like, look at this one. I was on lunch in one of the micro kitchens. My radio goes off like, hey, Al, when you get off of lunch, can you head over to the second floor micro kitchen? A Googler just reported a suspicious individual in that area. I spent an hour looking for myself.
Dang.
Okay? There's a culture of racism at Google. Right now, this is not the first time a Twitter thread has alleged racial bias at Google. In 2019, Leslie Miley detailed his experiences with fellow Googler who allegedly tried to physically prevent him from entering a building despite Miley's employee badge being visible. In the thread, Miley discusses how what happened to him was a direct result of door signs against tailgating that clearly indicate that if you look different, you should be considered a threat. In a reply to Anu Hoas, I knew I was going to screw up that name. I've been trying not to say it all day. Miley recognized that Google's policies have changed, but said that changing people is a lot harder. And so let's take a look at that right there, right? So it says, I am so sorry you experienced that. Google spent years building a system that allows people to weaponize their biases. Google spent years building a system that allows people to weaponize their biases. I know they have changed policies, but changing people is harder. Guys, you have to understand something, right? And I honestly hope Ray's at least watching from the clouds. When we're talking about like systems and corporations, whatever, being bigger than the individual, and you having to consider how that comes into play, what does Google not own?
Okay.
Google owns everything. Like, I mean, Google went down for like 20 minutes and like every app on my phone stopped working. Everything just stopped working. Like things I didn't even think had anything to do with Google stopped working altogether. They just own the planet, right? So when they're going to be racist, if they're going to be biased, if they're going to have biased hiring or whatever, it's going to affect millions of us. Now, I want y'all to know, right? So you can understand the demographic of the workforce over there in Google, right? 4.4% of Google's US workforce is Black, according to the company's latest diversity, equity, and inclusion report. I guess the 4.4% is very diverse to them. Diversity report by ass, right?
Wow.
Okay. The figure is even lower when it comes to leadership representation, with only 3% of US leadership positions being held by Black plus employees. So I don't know what Black plus is. I think that means like Black biracial one drop. I don't know, but it does say Black plus, to be fair. Now, only 1.3% of leadership positions at the company are held by Black plus women. I still don't get the plus. Fine. By comparison, okay, so remember, what did we say? We said 4.4% of the whole workforce is Black, okay, with 3% of the U.S. leadership positions being held by Black employees, and 1.3% of leadership positions at the company are being held by Black women. Okay. By comparison, 50.4% of Google's US employees are white. Well, if it's 50.4% of the employees are white, right? If we're looking at trending, 4.4% of the employees were Black, right? And then it was like 3% of the employees were in leadership positions. So that number should go down, right? Well, let's see. 50.4% of the US employees are white, with 65.5% of the company's leadership positions being held by white employees. Right. So 50, I want y'all to realize, right? Because a lot of people justify the numbers. They say, well, only 4.4% were hired, and you know, they're only 4.4% of the workforce there. So of course they're a small proportion, or even smaller proportion of the leadership. Really? Well, they are way over percentage wise, right? That's an extra 15.5% of white people in leadership positions, with only 4.4% of their entire workforce being Black.
Wow.
Now,
I'm going to say this and break it down to smaller numbers. There's 100 employees and there's just 2 Black people.
Right. What per 100 employees?
And they work on the weekend, so that's why another
Of
reason why
course.
they don't see them mostly.
Girl, that's why they hired them. Right? You know that, right? You gotta have someone working on Saturdays and Sundays. Like, and see, this is the thing, and then then the narrative starts getting into, but see, that's because black people ain't in STEM enough. Black people ain't taught enough about this. They ain't getting enough. No, that's actually not why. That's not why. Because if you just even look at who's graduating from school, the percentages are significantly higher. They actually are way better balanced. So Google is showing, this is them improved, by the way. They're like, yay, look at us, 4.4%. We're doing so good, guys. This is them improved. This is them improved, for the record. So please understand, yeah, no matter how much you're like, oh, there's diversity hires and there's affirmative action and that unfairly biases the system against white men. Since when? Oh, that's what it's supposed to do? No, first of all, it was never meant to help anyone but white women anyway. But second of all, it never worked that way.
Yeah.
Like, where is your evidence of that? Right? 4.4%, guys. Who do you think unfairly lost the job out of the 4.4% of black people who got one? Okay.
Yeah, one of those two. Maybe
Y'all
the
know
one
it's
that
y'all
worked
know
on
it's like
Saturday.
25%, 30% of white people who have a job that probably shouldn't have had it. Let's be real. Right? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and also I want to say thank you so much, Emmanuel, for saying that I was a rock star yesterday. I really felt like I was on my game. Okay. Sorry, I'm done.
All right. Okay. Now I found this to be interesting, considering all of the propaganda they use. Oh, people just want to stay at home. They're lazy. You're giving them extra unemployment. Well, they don't want to go to work. Woo, woo, woo. You know, all that kind of stuff. But I found this article interesting because of the praise given in the article. I'm like, well, pick your poison. Which one is going to be? And let me get into it here. It says poverty fell overall in 2020 as a result of massive stimulus checks and unemployment aid, Census Bureau say. Now, just reading the title, I'm like, wait a minute. You you complain. You said it was people making more money and all of that, and but you're saying it helped people in poverty, which means they were poor. So what was wrong with helping those that was in need?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. And then it goes on to say the official rate rose slightly to 11.4%, but the agency says that after accounting for pandemic relief aid, the poverty rate fell to 9.1%. The uninsured population also rose slightly. U.S. poverty fell overall in 2020, surprisingly declined largely due to the swift and substantial federal relief that Congress enacted at the start of the pandemic to try to prevent widespread financial hardship as the nation experienced the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The U.S. Census Bureau reported poverty fell to 9.1% in 2020 after accounting for all of the government aid, the lowest rate on record, and a significant decline from 11.8% in 2019. Nearly 8.5 million people were lifted out of poverty last year. That's 8.5 million people, according to them. A unprecedented change in a single year that were largely attributed to the stimulus payments. Poverty in the United States is defined as a family of four living on less than $26,250 a year. Whew, that's That's ridiculous. This is really a phenomenal result, says Elaine Waxman, a senior fellow of the Urban Institute. But a lot of the aid that made a difference, including for families for children, won't be extended. Well, yeah, 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 we know that. Then it mentions that President Biden is urging Congress to enact more programs to help the poor and working class as part of the $3.5 trillion package that will be significant investments in many parts of the economy. Top White House aides point to the success of the pandemic aid as an example of how additional resources can make a dramatic differences in decreasing poverty and hardship. And see, this is what I'm saying. You can't have both. In this case, both can't be true at the same time. Either they lazy and collecting it and all of this, or it actually helped people that are working because they're not making much in the first place. So what do you want here? What do you want? You know people need extra or need more than what they're getting. You
Yeah,
know
but they
that.
don't care.
Right. So stop playing with folk. Stop it.
I mean, uh, listen. No, you know what? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. And this was not part of the stories I was gonna do today, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yep, I'm gonna do
Okay.
it. Yep, that's right. Because I want.
Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. Thank no, because you know what? Here's the thing, right? Because they're always talking about, right, especially the right and the new school black conservatives that are now in the manosphere and whatever. Always talking about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and black people are always sitting around just looking for a handout, right? That's all they want. They
Mhm.
just want a handout and they can't just take care of their own stuff and da 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 da. Okay, cool. So and then we talk about it, right? We talk about the banks getting bailed out. We talk about, big corporations getting bailed out, and they make up excuses because that's a whole corporation. So what about when this whole corporation bails out, basically Zuckerberg?
Mm.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what happened here. Facebook paid billions more, billions, B with a
With a
B,
B, y'all.
okay,
B. B for
billions
sure.
more in fines as part of a 2019 Federal Trade Commission (FTC) settlement to shield CEO Mark Zuckerberg from personal liability. Two lawsuits allege. Two lawsuits.
Mm.
The lawsuits, which were first reported on by Politico, were filed by shareholders in Delaware Court of Chancery and recently were made public. They claim Facebook's board overpaid in the settlement to protect Zuckerberg. Hmm. I wonder. The FTC investigated Facebook in the wake of the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where tens of millions of Facebook users had their information unknowingly harvested by the data firm, and announced in 2019 that Facebook faced a $5 billion fine. In February 2019, the FTC sent Facebook's outside counsel a copy of a complaint that named both Facebook and Zuckerberg as defendants, according to one of the lawsuits. However, the suit also alleges that Zuckerberg and COO Sheryl Sandberg agreed to the FTC settlement as an express quid pro quo to protect Zuckerberg from being named in the FTC's complaint, made subject to personal liability, or even required to sit for a deposition.
Mm.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. What happened to y'all's accountability? I thought we all had to take personal accountability for everything. Not only do black women have to take accountability for ourselves, we have to take accountability for the actions of every single black woman on the planet, right? But like Mark Zuckerberg doesn't even have to take accountability for himself. Okay? Like, he don't even have to sit for a deposition. Imagine, y'all. Do
Wow.
any of you guys, can any of you guys imagine, even if your company was willing to, that you could just turn to the police and be like, nah, I don't really feel like, having to do nothing. Can my company just pay you out? Do Do you think that would work out for you?
No.
Right? Like it, it no. No, but see, here's the thing. This is what happens when you are of a certain demographics. This is what happens because we act like somehow or another, like first, not he pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and then because he's a multi-billionaire, now he has the power to pull this stuff. No, 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 no. No, he's been getting this type of just a little bit of a wink, nod, freebie favor his whole career,
Mhm.
right? Probably really his whole life. And this is why it is so erroneous for us to turn around and say, well, black people just acted right because he didn't act right. And if a black person basically stole a company from the rest of his business partners, he wouldn't be a multi-billionaire over it because the civil courts would have allowed the other people he stole the company from to demolish him.
Yep.
But Zuckerberg got away with it. And then they made a movie about it. Like, oh, this is like it happened in like 1722 in its old history. And it's like, oh, that's kind of crazy. But I guess it's boss because that's what our country's built off of. No, it's still happening now, y'all. It's still happening now. Just please. Okay. So.
It's still happening, and I even got an article on it here.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, it's always happening. And let me get into it here. It says court sends black woman to jail over $40,000, while white woman who stole $250,000 gets probation.
Oh, Jesus.
And I used to always wonder why I heard some older comedians back in the 80s say you might as well go for the gusto, go all the way, because the punishment is going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
If you steal $5 or 5 million, you still going to get so many years. So you might as well go for the 5 million. I'm like, okay, I understand now. I was a little bit too young to kind of understand what the comedian was saying. I forgot even who the comedian was. I don't remember, but I remember that saying. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Now this is another example of why sentencing disparity between black and white people need to be reformed.
Yep.
According to the Cleveland.com, a white woman accused of embezzling almost $250,000 in public funds was on Monday, August 2nd, sentenced to 2 years of probation, while the same court sentenced a black woman who stole $40,000 from another public institution to 18 months in prison the next day. This has reignited calls to address the issues of sentencing disparities and implement a statewide sentencing database in Ohio. Both women were sentenced in the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court by different judges. Debbie Bosworth, the white woman who stole over $240,000 in the space of 20 years while working as a clerk at the Cargren Falls Village Utility and Buildings Department, was indicted on 22 counts by a grand jury and made arrangements to refund the stolen funds. She issued a check for an outstanding balance of $100,000 when she was sentenced on Monday to probation, despite the prosecution asking the presiding judge to hand Boss with a prison sentence. Now, this is what I always have said to myself watching movies and just growing up when I hear people do different things. I'm like, you have a job, nice job with a nice pension. And I ain't even know nothing about no pension. I'm 10, 12, 14 years old. But I do know that they had benefits. I understood that. And you employed. You didn't work hard. You answer the phone and not much more. However, instead of just enjoying your wages and benefits, you want to steal. And the woman did it for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would do something if they need something, like, okay, you know what? Um, my car broke down, or it's not, I need to do something with my uh, car because it's just a wreck. I need to do something. So, you know what? I'm going to get it fixed. And they talking about it's the engine, and I know that's $1,000 because of the darn labor. I'm going to steal this $1,000. But
Mm-hmm.
no, she's going to go 20 years, 2 decades. You know that couldn't be us.
Mm-mm.
And this is an example. It can't be us.
I'm saying. I, I mean, come on. Uh, we know of a woman who she didn't even steal from her company, right? Little Miss
Hmm.
Sherry there, what's her face? She just didn't pay her taxes, and she went to prison for like 4 years for not paying her taxes. Well, she worked for the IRS, so it was still a stupid move. But the point is, she was black. Okay,
Right.
she was a white conscientious objector. Listen, we know what these sovereign citizens get. They chop people's heads off with swords and they get like 7 years, right? Like it's
Hmm.
I find it shocking. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, right? Black identity extremism is a terrorist group. What is black identity extremism? It's being proud of blackness extremely. They don't have a definition for it. It could be any one of us, and that's a terrorist group, right? But when you band together to storm the government and try to
Hmm.
overthrow democracy, literally, there's good people on all sides. They're not terrorists or anything, right? They're not like bad people. They're just a little frustrated and confused. Like if you don't see the way things are currently being handled, where the majority of the people who stormed the Capitol to try to overthrow democracy in America, if you don't understand that they're wandering around, they're not rich people, most of them, right? Wandering around on bail. If you don't see a problem with this and the disparity between that and a kid who maybe stole a candy bar and can't even get bail because he's black,
Hmm.
I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
You're clearly a little bit lost. But that's okay. Listen, I'm gonna address Biden in the Biden administration. I haven't done that since he's really been, in office because, well, they stormed the Capitol and there's just been so much to talk about over there. So I want to talk about Border Patrol. Now, for those of y'all who know me at all, you know I am currently banned from America because Trump made Border Patrol literally lawless and they answer to nobody, which means they could ban you because today they don't like your face. For real. And there's no one they were answering to, and there's no one that you can go and fight that against. It was just whatever they said that one time goes forever, indefinitely, for no reason. No oversight. So I had issues with the border. So anytime the border does stupid things,
Hmm.
I really like to be there to call it out. I do. I'm going to be honest. So let's talk about the border patrol. And I got two different things I want to take a look at from this. So first we'll just, if you haven't seen it, we're going to show you. And then we're going to show you Biden's answer to the problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So for those of you who didn't know, there's this big, semi big issue going on here, right? Where there was footage captured um of basically the border patrol on horses with what very much looks like whips, or at least long ropish type things being used as whips, um against Haitian migrants trying to, come up into America. And this was a little problematic, not shockingly. I mean, just look at this, right? Now, first of all, they're trying to say, those are whips, those are reins. I've seen reins for a horse. Have you seen reins on a horse? I've seen reins on a horse. last time I checked, they weren't super long and people didn't take them and start lassoing them around, right? Like it's just here. This is, it's to steer the horse. So right now he's swinging this long rope here to steer the horse. Oh, I understand. I guess it's my mistake, obviously, right? I was clearly missing something. No one's missing anything. They're absolutely lying. Okay. But now these horseback agents, this was in Texas, right? This has stirred up a lot of controversy, right? And condemnation from President Joe Biden. You heard me right. Condemnation from President Joe Biden. Joe Biden apparently was absolutely horrified by this footage, right? Let's take a look at some of the pictures. We go through here.
Okay.
So you can see here, like these are like literally, this is not like a bunch of strong men. There's families and women and whatever, right? And so, yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely horrifying to see these men on horseback with whips. They're denying that they're whips against women and children, migrants. But let's take a listen to Biden's addressing of the issue, because I just think it's so punk bitchish. But I'm going to show you the follow-up to this afterwards if you want to understand the Biden administration. Okay.
ABC, Rachel Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said on the campaign trail that you were going to restore the moral standing of the U.S., that you were going to immediately end Trump's assault on the dignity of immigrant communities. Given what we saw at the border this week, have you failed in that promise? And this is happening under your watch. Do you take responsibility for the chaos that's unfolding?
Of course I take responsibility. I'm president, but it was horrible what to see, as you saw. To see people treated like they did, horses barely running them over, people being strapped. It's outrageous. I promise you, those people will pay. They will be an investigation underway now, and there will be consequences. There will be consequences. It's an embarrassment, but it's beyond an embarrassment. It's dangerous. It's wrong. It sends the wrong message around the world. It sends the wrong message at home. It's simply not who we are. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the...
Y'all heard this, right? It's wrong. Yes. This is wrong. Absolutely. Now, did he address the whips on the illegal immigrants? No, they're going to make this part of it go away, right? No one was ever whipped. That's a slavery days thing. We're just not going to address it. But what did he say? To see people treated like they did, horses running them over, people being strapped, it's outrageous. I promise you, those people will pay.
Yes.
Y'all see the promise, right? I'm not making it up.
That's what I heard.
Right? Well, Biden did come up with a solution.
Oh.
He did. To be fair, he moved, right? We said, Biden, you finally got to move on something, and he did, right? Okay. Let's see how he's going to make these people pay. Yes, that what you're seeing is correct. People are trying to say to Biden now at this point, right? This is the place we're at, having to say, I don't think the horses are the problem, Biden. Now, the Biden administration is being mocked for doing what? Banning horses in response to Border Patrol footage. Wait. What? So you saw that footage. You promised you'd make those people pay. And then the action you took was to ban the horses?
You know what? He was thinking, I'm going to take their car away. Oh, they weren't in the car. They were on a horse. So I'm going to take their horse away and make them walk. Yeah, they're going to have to walk around them patrol. That's what they're going to do. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They're just going to give them RVs and stuff. It's just going to be even better with AC. Right? Like, this is ridiculous. Biden, you failed, okay? You absolutely failed. This is not an actual response. You've made absolutely nobody pay. You were holding nobody accountable. You're not even addressing the actual issue. By taking away the horses, you are not addressing the fact that the Border Patrol agents themselves are obviously racially biased And they're not seeing these migrants as humans, as people. So they think it's okay to whip them and to trample over them with the horses. The horse isn't the problem. They will just find a different tool under which to otherwise hurt, bother, and violate these migrants. But listen, this one chick on this said this the best. It was the best response to this that I think we ever could have gotten. This woman says nothing. Okay, we could listen to. There's no point. This is why everyone is saying. This is like everyone's like, oh yeah, you're ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, this woman says absolutely nothing. Let's listen to this response. So this is my favorite problem solved. Let's listen to this response.
I mean, what more did you people want? Like, y'all never satisfied. You were complaining that the Biden administration wasn't doing nothing at the border, so they stepped in and they banned the racist horses. Problem solved.
Boom! Ban the racist horses. Problem solved. Good job, Biden. You showed them. You got rid of the racist horses. Racist people? No. They get to keep their job. The racist horses are gone.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a couple of pictures of white horses. They said you got to go.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Didn't take the whips or nothing, right? Just the horses.
Wow.
Oh my God, this is such a fail administration. Like, listen, I'm not saying Trump's administration was great or that I would have voted for Trump, but I'm saying that the fact that it was Biden running against Trump was the failure of the Democratic side to begin with. What were y'all thinking? Okay. Anyway, Jesus Christ.
Dang.
Right? It's not going to get better. There's like 3.5 more years of this. Okay.
Yeah. No place to go but down.
Right. Yep.
All right. So this article is a little I don't know, I found it kind of interesting, especially when it happens to a guy that has a lot of choices. Let me pull it up and read it here. Let's see. I don't know anything about this movie. I've heard it's a movie, I think, but I haven't seen it. The Suicide Squad actor files restraining order against woman who allegedly tried to extort him after sex. Like, hey, you gave me that ding ding, now you're gonna have to pay. Girl, you were getting down, you were having a good old time. That's all right. You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay me. Because my stuff was just as good as yours. Girl, it's been 2 years ago. Would you please stop? Well, the economy, it's kind of rough. Ain't nobody making no movies like that. There ain't nobody call me, so you want to pay. But, that's just me pretending that's what they text each other. But let me read what it says. All right. The Suicide Squad actor Joel Kinnaman has filed a restraining order against a former romantic partner who allegedly attempted to extort money and other things of value from him, according to a lengthy statement he posted on Instagram on Friday. As Kinnaman's claim, he met the woman, who he identified as a Swedish model, Gabriella Magnusson, as also known as Bella Davis, in 2018, and met up for consensual sex twice in November and December of that year. According to the actor, she later became upset that he didn't ask her to stay the night or check whether she got home safely following the December encounter. Okay, let's scroll down. In 2019 and 2020, Bella resumed contact with me, asking to meet up and sending sexual explicit content. But I was already in a relationship at this point, so I did not respond. I ignored her text. I just said that was then. I done moved on, girl. What you doing? he wrote in a post. That was just my extra commentary. Don't worry about it. Given her increasingly obsessive communications, I felt it was best to cut off all communications with her. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit past this ad. Kinnaman goes on to claim that Bella continued to send antagonistic, threatening, and frightening communications. Most recently, he says she threatened to go public with claims that their sex was not consensual unless he agreed to a list of demands that included money, Hollywood connections, helping to secure a work visa, a verified Instagram page, a Wikipedia page, a photo shoot with Sports Illustrated, and an additional $400,000 USD for an apartment and more. Okay, lady, let's see what you want. Let's break this down. What does she want? She want Hollywood connections. So she's not gonna get that unless she get around people in Hollywood. So hey, you could have done that or tried. Helping to secure a work visa. Well, there's a lot of men that's going on way, and since you're a model, whatever, I'm pretty sure some of those men would be interested in you. So work with them. Cause Caesar, I think he's busy right now. I think he on episode 75 of that show, so can't get him. Cause he definitely would give you money and that visa. But anyway, she also want a verified Instagram page. Well, you might want to contact Fresh and Fraud. They into that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to contact them. They'll be able to help you out on that part. Wikipedia
Help.
page, you can do that yourself. A photo shoot with Sports Illustrated. Well, I would say you have to contact them and, bend over, shake it, sleep with some of them. You'll get a, photo shoot eventually. And then she won an additional $400,000 for an apartment. Well, your best bet is to try to move in with somebody that already has a $400,000 apartment, because that's pretty pricey, and if you ain't got credit and all that, you're not gonna be able to move in anyway. So, just trying to help you out, girl. But leave this man alone. That was a long time ago. Your coochie don't have that type of value.
Mm-hmm.
He posted everything out. He said, "You're not gonna try to shame me." Yeah, we did it, done it, been there, done that. It's over with. Deuces. Yeah, deuces. Yeah.
I'm leaving this planet. Yeah. No, I'm about done. That's what I that's how I feel about humanity. I'm about done with y'all. How about that?
Mm-mm.
That's all I got. You know what? Listen. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna prove right now that society as a whole, even like these like racist institutions, have lost their minds. And when I say lost their minds, like as in social media is killing brain cells. Did y'all know that? Like, I understand we're
Mm.
talking to you through social media. Um, but I want to be clear, I'm almost positive that it's rotting brains. And I'm gonna show you why I think that. Because I don't understand how out of all of the things that we could, pin on the cops, right? I mean, we gotta they constantly turn off their body cams, right? Like, I thought they at least had like some self-preservation intelligence built in or something, right? But no, that's apparently not true at all when it comes to social media.
Mm.
As soon as you put social media in front of the face of anybody 30 and under, cell phone, social media, whatever, they can't help themselves. Let's take a look at this. Sorry, for those of y'all who aren't reading. Cops reportedly used work phones to joke about rape, police brutality on Instagram. Yes, on Instagram. Okay,
wow.
So for those of y'all who are not reading it again, here's a meme, right? Sergeant, all right, who witnessed the use of force? 2 full squads on scene with the little girl going, I have no idea. I didn't see nothing. Yeah, no, this is absolutely hilarious. So according to KTVU, a 23-page report was delivered to a federal court on Monday from Clarence Dyer and Cohen LLP detailing the internal investigation. Oakland side first posted about the existence of the Instagram page and investigation in January of 2021. The Los Angeles Times on September 20th reported that 7 current officers, including a lieutenant, were suspended for up to, but not more than that, and could be less than that, mind you, up to 25 days without pay. Following the investigation, not during the investigation. I want y'all to listen to the words they're using, of an Instagram account. The account allegedly belonged to a police officer who was fired in 2020. 2 other of the police officers in question have since moved jurisdictions. The department reportedly notified those jurisdictions about the investigation's findings. Reportedly notified. Well, I'm going to say that the news definitely notified. The actual cops, no, I don't believe they did. You know why? Because they regularly do this, right? They just shift them off from one department to the other and don't tell them what they did, right? That way everyone can have plausible deniability. Right? I mean, this cop got fired. So it's for something filthy when you hired him. And then you just don't ask questions. And then you can have plausible deniability. They've learned, right? Just like they've learned the words, I feared for my life is a magical get out of jail free card. All right, so let's listen to this little segment here.
Well, Frank, at issue is whether an Oakland officer ran this Instagram account and whether any colleagues responded favorably to memes that were sexist, racist, or otherwise inappropriate. KTVU has learned that the Oakland Police Department has seized as many as 100 city-owned phones used by officers who are part of its crime reduction teams. Sources close to OPD say it has to do with officers accused of making controversial comments on a now deleted Instagram page that had the handle Crime Reduction Team.
It's very disturbing that anyone would post this because of the sort of sexist and racist and sexualized imagery.
Darwin Bond Graham, the news editor for Oakland Side, broke the story about the Instagram account and reported that it may have been run by an Oakland officer. In this meme, birds representing officers react to a newly hired female police recruit. The birds respond by saying, mine. Another post seems to ridicule reporting use of force by fellow officers. A little girl represents an officer.
What they're basically saying is they're expressing support for insubordination and the subversion of a policy that's really core to policing today.
In a statement, the Oakland Police Department said, we will not tolerate any form of hate speech, any expression that supports hate speech, or any acts of subversion, whether in person or on online platforms. There are clear policies and guidelines that govern this behavior, and OPD will root out this conduct anywhere within the department. It was a similar response after Oakland Side reported that officers liked pro-Trump and far-right comments made by a former Oakland officer who was present during the Capitol siege. Speaking generally, John Alden, who heads Oakland Citizen Police Review Agency, says only city-owned phones can be searched.
And they absolutely should be in any case where we're concerned about those communications. So we can see exactly what was being passed from one officer to another.
You cannot confuse your First Amendment rights with your right to be a police officer.
Civil rights attorney Jim Channon says these officers should know that any negative comments could bring disrepute to a department still struggling to meet court-ordered reforms.
Officers should know that by now, and the fact that some of them appear not to is extremely disheartening.
Now, I want to just because, see, what happens is, right, these people try to be slick, and so they don't tell you people's names. The former officer, oh no, we know the former officer's name, okay? And his name is Jarrell Snyder. Jarrell Snyder, who was president during the Capitol riots, who last worked for the department in 2015, right? He adamantly defended the Capitol riot insurrection thereafter, touted conspiracy theories, and he shares memes linked to extremist Boogaloo movement, which advocates for violent civil war. Now, while he was an officer in Oakland side, right, Snyder fatally shot 2 people. Think any of them were white?
Probably
No, right? One black person and one Latino person while he was working as a police officer in 2007 and in 2013. And then shockingly, 2015, he was no longer working. What do you want to bet that the 2013 shooting was not lawful? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, right, they've confiscated all these city phones, right? And then they suspended officers for up to 25 days and fired like
Up
one.
to. Okay, up
Yeah,
to.
and transferred like 2. That was the consequence, right? So and the thing is, I think part of the issue is, I'm going to be real. I think part of the issue is that the people who are currently in the position of making laws and making rules, right? They come from an old school, the old school, and I'm not trying to call boomers and older generation X people old, but when I say old school, I mean as in like back then, like even psychology based departments within law enforcement were pretty brand new and kind of not super respected. And psychological type things and disorders were huge taboos and stuff like that. We were really not having a firm understanding of the way things impact, the brain and how socialization works and whatever. And then as soon as we start barely addressing and understanding that as a society, boom, we have the internet search. And so now the people who are in charge of making these decisions and analyzing these things and giving the final yes or no, right? And having the final understanding, they don't have an understanding of how social media impacts people, how it can really very quickly change your whole entire mindset and perception of things because they weren't born and raised in it, right? Because they're boomers and Generation X. They were adults when social media started, right? So I think it's going to be another 50 years or so before we start really seeing police policy and decision making regarding, punishing them and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be about 50 years before we start really seeing changes in that.
Wow.
Mm.
I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you. Now, what I'm showing now is something that is unbelievable because, if any time you spend around YouTube, if you're over the age of 35, you're not going to get married. You're no good. No good.
Mm-mm.
No good.
She's hot. Damn. See that curves? Woo! Sorry. Okay.
So, I think they're like 44. So, I'm just saying. And this marriage, had occurred, but, it doesn't exist. That's the word on the street. It doesn't exist. So I'm just showing you. Now I'm gonna get into the story. Well, hey, that's what I was told, but I said, well, let me show the picture.
Right?
The picture is right there. I mean, they say a picture is 1,000 words. Well, I seen marriage, so okay.
True. True. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna show you this, and I'll read the other page. Okay. Because they went viral. All right, let me see if I can increase it a little bit. Maybe? Try to center it. Oh yeah, that's there you go. There you are. There's your wedding invoice right there. So that lovely couple, they're from Chicago. They're Chicago newlyweds, and they went viral after sending a $240 bill to a no-show wedding guest. Oh yeah, that's what they did. They're like, "What? You ain't show up, and we paid? Oh, here you owe us." The next wedding you RSVP and decide to skip could be costly in Chicago. Just saying. That's a response from a Chicago's couple, and it has become a trend. A viral post making the rounds on Twitter involves Chicago newlyweds Doug Simmons, 44, and Deidre Simmons, 43, who received both praise and backlash after sending invoices to their wedding guests who RSVP'd and no showed. The damage? A whopping $240 bill to cover the costs. The New York Post reports that the widely circulated invoice, which many believe was fake, is real. The Chicago newlywed revealed they tied the knot at the Railton Negril Resort and Spa in Jamaica, according to the newspaper. The cost of each guest was $120, and the couple had to pay in advance for the destination wedding. More than 100 people were expected to attend. In an August 23rd Facebook post shared by more than 6,000 people, Doug Simmons writes, that's the groom, "Don't be offended when I send this invoice to you. It's gonna look something like this. I'll be sending it via email and certified mail just in case you ain't get it in the email. Hashtag petty post." Doug Simmons told the New York Post that the invoice comes after repeatedly asking guests if they're going to make it to their Jamaican wedding. Maybe it was the rise in the Delta variant cases. Maybe it was fear of flying. Whatever the case, some guests didn't show after assuring the couple they would, according to Simmons, without so much as a call or text. Okay. He said, "I took it personally," Simmons told the news outlet. While the Simmons seem taking all the attention in stride, they admit it's not about the money, but rather communication and hurt feelings and disrespected by the no-shows. Whether they follow through on their requests is another story. However, the couple made payments from Zelle or PayPal would suffice. All right, so the couple said, they petty. Was the guy did anyway. He said he petty. He said it ain't about the money. It's about the disrespect. He ain't appreciate that. You say you coming, we ask you coming, I paid. You coming. Nothing. Okay.
Yeah. I see it. You know what? I mean, weddings, not only are weddings hella expensive, unnecessarily so, right? It's very stressful. And I mean, you are like the night before my wedding, I was sitting there in tears by myself, in pain, not sleeping, trying to again finalize the seating arrangements, right? Because y'all have to understand, you can't just, what if 3 or 4 different people are suddenly not going to show up last second where you're going to have a table with just 2 people on it? No. Now you have to move everything again, right? It becomes a really stressful ordeal when you get last minute cancellations and stuff like that, right? And then on top of that, again, normally you have to pay your deposits on the food and whatever from, at least a few weeks ahead of time. And now you have given me no time to fill your spot with someone who likes chicken, right? Because I already paid for your stupid chicken dinner, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot. It is a lot. And then with destination weddings, that's even more so because it's also like normally there's like a hotel room that's definitely guaranteed and included in there and blah, 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 right? That you're paying for. Because when people think of destination weddings, right, they kind of think, oh, I have to pay this amount, but you don't understand how much of that is kind of being comped by what the bride and groom are paying for the wedding itself. So you're actually getting a discounted price for that little vacation than you would have gotten otherwise. So yeah, I kind of get it. I mean, I do, right? I think that there's better ways to go about it than making Facebook announcements, and because I think that's really childish. Like, I remember I didn't know. I'm not even kidding. I didn't know. So, like, approaching me in an aggressive way about it was a bad plan. But I was dating this guy at the time, and I didn't know that people, like normal people like you and me, like friends or whatever, that we were supposed to bring, like, you're supposed to bring money and put it in a little money box. I thought that's like what, family members did. Like, it's there when your old grandpa wants to pay you money. So I didn't know. And then I didn't know that you're supposed to, if you're invited to some part of the wedding and you don't go, that you're supposed to send a gift anyway. I didn't know. And I didn't know that when you go to the wedding, you have to bring the money or the gift. And so anyway, they took this dude, right? My boyfriend's friend, he married this Italian chick, and they were so hardcore about it. They actually listed it on their Facebook and then sent like public messages and said, "Hey, dude, so thanks for coming to the wedding, but we didn't get a gift or an envelope from you. So when are we going to be getting that?"
Ooh.
Right? And we thought it was so ignorant because we honestly didn't know we were supposed to. Like it's an expected normal thing. Right? But Black people don't know. And that's why if you have a wedding full of white people, right, with 200 guests, you're going to make $30,000. But if you have a wedding full of Black people with 200 guests, you're going to make like $500 maybe. Right? Like, we don't know. We're not socialized that way. So, like, be gentle, or maybe give people forewarning. Tell them in advance, Yeah. Hey, there's actually things now. There are actual websites that kind of tell you, hey, this is what you do. This is how you deal with these things, right? And they'll have websites that you can make announcements and you send it out to all the guests just to let them know what the etiquette is for the wedding. A gift or this, right? It's customary this. And then it will have helpful, useful links on the side. So if you didn't know you've ever been to a wedding, you could click on the link and learn something. And then, like, don't always assume we're just being ignorant on purpose. Sometimes no one raised us, right?
You don't know. You
right.
Didn't know. So
I'm saying, I didn't know.
Well, you all act like you don't know, but you know what time it is. We're getting all excited. Yeah, we got them Birdman hands rubbing them together for that Ken and Karen segment. Karen, what you say, girl?
Speed away coronavirus. You are Karen.
She tried. It didn't work out this time either.
It never does. Never. No. Well, y'all, we have lots of pleasant Ken and Karen-ness today on our hands, especially we are continuing our little saga for those of y'all who missed it.
Oh, yeah.
This poor woman went on, well, no, she didn't go on a date, right?
Right.
And yet somehow or another she still had to deal with all this bullshit. So we are going to get into that later, because first we are going to cover other Kens and Karens, because again, that is a series. We are going to deal with that as a series. So every week we are going to follow this saga of this poor woman who can't stop getting these damn phone calls. Like, just imagine. It's epic. Okay. So first on our list. What should I'm just like going to pick one random tab. Okay. Video, Karen harasses Black restaurant employees over mask policy, calls them effing R words amidst racist rant. Okay, that sounds good, right? Okay, let's watch that one. I told y'all, I just amass Karens. I have a massive Karen file, and I just go through it every week. Oh, yeah, okay. This one looks good. That's how many there are.
Yeah, it never stops.
Right. Okay, so now this was at Roscoe's, right? So I think that's Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, right? Is that the brand name or am I crazy? Okay. Thought so. Okay. Let's get it started, y'all.
Instagram, Facebook. Bye. You will be sued. 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 Bye. I have PTSD. Bye. I have PTSD, and you're discriminating against me.
Oh,
the last person you should
even.
be ashamed. Have a wonderful day, guys. 60 years ago, you couldn't drink from the same water fountain as me, and now you're discriminating against me. Do you feel good? Do you feel good? Bye, guys. Wait till people see this shit. Wait till people see this shit.
What in the world?
Yeah. So, in case y'all are missing the context, the chick recording is an anti-masker, anti-vaxxer. So she goes into the Roscoe's. She's not putting on a mask. She's refusing. They're saying, okay, well, in that case, I'm sorry, you can't eat here. This is not new. That's the thing I find shocking, right? This is not like a new policy. Why are they always so confused? But yeah, no, they were obviously, she was very upset and very confused. And so as a result, the racist tirade ensued. What I think is amazing about that, though, right, is like now it's about water fountains and who could drink and from what water fountain, what, like.
And she wasn't even born 60 years ago,
right.
So why even bring it up? That's why I ask people when they mention things, how did that affect them? And I never get an answer. Continue. Sorry.
Oh, it's because it didn't, right? It's an amazing talking point that I don't know. Someone taught them, obviously, because they didn't know it independently. Because none of them have an attention span, right? So no, it's not like they researched it themselves or something. Let's not be crazy now. Okay. So this next one we're gonna do is a Ken.
Oh.
Yep. Now I am going to have to quickly refresh, but that's fine because you know how these things do. Yes. Now this Ken took himself out, y'all. So yeah, no, he took himself out. So let's see how he managed that one. Wait, there we go. Okay. Oh, volume. There you go. Okay. All right. I'm going to refresh now. We're going to do it again. It's going to work. All right.
Okay.
Shut your mouth. Hey, settle you fucking back. You back. Shut your fucking mouth. Yeah, what the fuck you got? Shut your fucking mouth.
What the? Oh.
I ain't gonna sit here. He missed him. That's all you said.
I just love that. Like that was amazing. In fact, you know what? Here, while I'm talking, we can just watch it again.
Yeah, you did a flying kick.
Right? In the best possible way. Like sometimes you gotta wonder, like, how is this reality? I love this. One person wrote about this. He waited all his life to do that move, and it failed miserably. He's the only person to fight one-on-one and come in third place. And of course, just so we're all clear, this was in Florida. Because why would it not be in Florida? I just kind of feel like Florida has its own brand of person. No offense, Florida, but you know it's true. Right? I mean... Yeah, not trying to be mean, but like, yo, is it the drinking water or like, what is up with Florida? Is it all of Florida? Like, should I stop visiting like Miami and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. All I can say is Florida and Karen is a dangerous mix. Okay. Well,
wow.
I think we should Yeah, we should sneak in a couple. Since we're going to be talking about dating, I definitely think we should sneak in a Karen couple.
Okay.
Right? Of course. No, this one.
Uh-oh, I can tell.
Okay, where's the video? There we go. All right. Oh, I hate when it does this.
You guys are cute.
Have fun, you little asshole.
Oh.
Go away. Bye.
What do we have over here? Scared of your license plate?
You can go lick a dick. You do that very well, I can tell.
Well, you're being recorded right now.
Even.
You have a child in your car?
Yes, I sure do. Because I can do that. Because I've got tits and a fucking vagina, you fucking asshole.
Wow.
She's
classy.
classy.
One thing I know, somebody who sell their home doesn't drive away a buyer driving
HEWN 902.
Yeah.
I don't want your money. Get in your car, drive off.
No,
we'll drive away when we're damn good and ready.
Exactly.
But right now you're blocking my means of exit.
Good. And I'll stand here and I'll park here until I fucking want to leave.
Where's your agent?
We're messaging him now.
Where's your
He was
agent?
supposed to be here at 6:45 and it is now 6:50.
Well, you are basically trespassing right now, and
We
you
are
can
not
leave.
trespassing. This is a public
Yes, you are.
This is called
public street.
Yep.
Here, take the picture right
Thank
now.
you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Have it. Goodbye.
You can leave now.
Toodles.
That's all he wanted.
Right? Now, and to be clear, okay, so this guy is selling his house, right? And so, if for those of you who have never sold your house before, that involves you working, different agents are going to be bringing different prospective buyers through. But you've got to make appointments.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Ken and Karen didn't feel the need to make an appointment, not with their agents and not with, obviously, these people who are currently in the middle of living in their home. And no, you can't pop in. That's why there's a system. But you see, the thing is that Ken and Karen have been taught by life that they should be allowed to do what they want, when they want, without consequence, including walk up in your home. That's
wow.
That's, yeah. And they're shocked. Like, they're absolutely, I always find it amazing how shocked you can be that you're not following the rules of society and people don't like it.
And you gonna talk to me like that if you don't get away from my home? Wow.
Right? Sure, I'm telling you. Like, I'm moving out of my house free and clear altogether before it starts getting shown to people, because you just never know. Once they know the location is that, they're showing up at your house, like, that's, no thank you. No thank you. Now, y'all, so I gave y'all a taste last week. Just a little taste. But I'm gonna give you a little bit more. Okay, there's a lot of parts, actually. There's a lot of parts to the crazy dude. Okay, there really is. Now, I'm gonna explain for those of y'all who missed it before. Basically, this woman was supposed to go on a date with this guy. Supposed to. But then he stood her up. Then he called her to say, well, his father was in the hospital. She didn't answer, so he had left a message. Then he called her back and said, well, actually, no, my father wasn't in the hospital. And then he called her back and said, well, why aren't you calling me back? I don't understand. My friends told me at this point you would call me back. Remember, he stood her up. Okay. That's where we are. Now, she is a radio host. So that's why we're kind of lucky here, guys, is because she's a radio host, she decided she was about this life. So therefore, we got to know. So let's listen to a few more from this saga. Everyone is special. Everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Already.
Which one should we listen to? I see. I unfortunately, even though I opened them in order, now I don't know which tab was which. But okay, let's guess it's. You can't even guess. Let's do this one. We're gonna do this one. If it's a little bit out of order today, I apologize. Next time I'll get a better system for organizing my tabs. Okay.
All right.
Because I was honest with you, so I was gonna hope you're. I just get really upset sometimes.
Oh my gosh, why is it doing? Okay, you guys have to hear it from the beginning. Okay, you're gonna work this time. Work with me here. I hate the TikTok
I wanted
things.
to call and apologize. I'm super sorry. I just get really upset sometimes. I just haven't been treated very well over the years, and you said you were different. I thought you were different. And, I just get a little upset when I feel like somebody's not being honest with me after I've been honest with them because I was honest with you. So I was going to hope you're honest with me. But I still haven't heard from you. It's been a little bit. It's been a few hours. And I just feel like you could respect the situation with me.
I could.
You call me back. But like I said, I just wanted to apologize. I didn't mean to yell. And, that's not who I am. Just give me a call so we can reschedule everything. And once we do, I can explain to you what type of person I am and how honest I am and just cool and calm and all that fun stuff.
Cool
so I
calm.
look forward to talking to you and rescheduling another date with you. So, I'll talk to you soon.
Nothing says I'm cool and calm like I'm cool and calm. I'm the coolest and I am the calmest.
I wanted to call and apologize.
Keep in mind, right? So I've been honest with you, so it upsets me when I'm honest with people and then they're not honest with me. you were
been a few hours though.
Right.
Don't forget that it's been a few hours.
It's been
you
a few hours. But when was he honest? He initially lies. How is that honest? And it's been this is all in a few hours. Okay. I can't. Okay.
I'm gonna send him to YouTube. He can find some place, I am pretty sure, that will accept him, and he can be online all day, all night, and keep busy. He don't have to worry about it.
Right?
So
just
yeah.
lie about having friends because we're all pretty sure he doesn't at this point. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna send him to. So just log on, sir. Google and just start putting in a couple of keywords. You'll find the right place to go, the right section. Trust me, there's a place for you where they are live all day, all night.
Right. Whew. All right. Next one. Try not to. Okay. This poor chick, she's a trooper. Okay, let's keep watching.
A resistance.
Why haven't you called me back?
I don't know.
How did somebody do that to somebody else? I told you that this has happened in the past. You said you weren't going to do it. You said it happened to you and it happened to me. That's why we got along so well. I have left several messages spilling my heart to you. All I'm asking for is a call back. And we could go on a date. I could treat you really nice. I really can. I just don't understand girls like you. I thought you were different.
I am the same as every other girl. Frightened for my life. Wow. I think this one's my favorite. It's the piece de resistance.
He stood her up. These are all the phone calls that he is making the same night that he stood her up.
I told you. Oh.
You did? Right? Like, what are you talking about? I've been honest with you. I poured my heart out to you. Like, wait, what? You did? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. But now, this is what I think is amazing. This is when you know, like someone is too emotional because they think after. They think after the fact. And this poor fool, because apparently he knew what she did ahead of time, which is why this is so hilarious. Because then he should have known what was going to happen. But here, listen.
Oh wait, there's more.
I was just thinking, please do not put any of my information on TikTok. Like I said, I'm kind of a sensitive guy. I'm a private guy. And just please, whatever you do not put this on TikTok.
I would never. That is the last thing that I would ever do. But after you screamed at me and you stood me up and the 7 voicemails, I forgot.
I would hate, that legal get involved. Just please, just don't do it. Just be smart and just don't do it, okay?
He's threatening me.
All right, call me back. I still haven't heard from you.
He's threatening me with legal action, and yet he still wants me to call him back. Oh my god! I can't. But wait, there's more.
Okay. Now y'all might be thinking we're getting close to the climax. We're nowhere near.
Oh.
We're nowhere near. Nowhere near. Y'all, listen, gentlemen or ladies, this is what you look like when you do this. I don't even care if it's your man. Don't do this. Right. Do not call people 100 times tonight while you're panicking. You look crazy. Crazy. And what are you doing? Oh my God. But this is not even like they went on a first date already. It went well.
They never went out.
Ever. And the one date they were supposed to have, he stood her up. And this is that day. The day he stood her up.
Same day, but he got all the time in the world.
Oh,
now.
Right? Oh, and trust me, y'all, next week we're gonna get in it. Next week, there's some good parts next week. But you're waiting till next week. That's right. The saga continues.
Dun dun dun. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for your support, your likes, your shares, all that good stuff. All that is important. Your watch time, I appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Stay warm. Temps are dropping. Get your spring jackets out. I mean your fall jackets out. Mm-hmm. I know you have some. Mm-hmm. And stay safe. And until next week, everybody. Peace.
Cheers, y'all.